Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. It seems like at least once a week we witness the same type of situation unfold on Twitter. A VTuber makes serious allegations against another person, has a public meltdown when criticism rolls in, and is eventually exposed as a downright bad person in the process. And the subject of today's video is no different. Yesterday, a streamer and VTuber by the name of MEOK, her latest alias, randomly went after another VTuber calling her pedo bait, and then made subsequent posts insinuating VTubers using lolly, short, or even flat models are nothing more than elaborate bait for pedophiles. And of course, once the warranted criticism started rolling in, she called all of her critics pedophiles while having a full-fledged 20+ hour meltdown on her main and alt accounts that also contain publicly viewable likes featuring sexualized high school characters, something considered CP by her own standards. Many such cases. But here's the thing. That encompassed the rough outline of the story when I began working on this video late last night. However, this morning, this story took a turn when I woke up to find threads resurfacing that exposed MEOK's past behavior. These threads contain images and videos documenting some of her behavior from as recent as 2020. Behavior which includes her saying the N-word with the hard R, posting swastikas, posting photos of herself in blackface, and videos posted by her ex-boyfriend showing what many consider to be animal abuse, and at the very least, documentation of how unhinged her behavior is. And as a side note, I'm choosing to ignore all the other mountain of drama relating to her that stems as far back as 2017 because I simply don't have time for that separate rabbit hole. So based on the attitude I've seen from her, I'm sure she'll consider this video as a form of rabid harassment or something, when in reality, 90% of this video will consist of me reading her tweets, DMs, and alike, simply letting the words and images speak for themselves. Accordingly, I'll begin this video by giving context to what transpired yesterday and how we got here. After that, we're going to look at the images and videos of her past behavior, and believe me, you don't want to miss that. So like I said, this saga involves the streamer MEOK, a streamer who wants the world to know her by two labels, as an e-girl and a VTuber, titles that blur way too much these days, and fittingly, the majority of her content involves face cams and posting her IRL self. I mean, searching her accounts for VTuber related content is like searching the desert for water. But the drama leading up to this video begins with a post by the VTuber Kirana Yonome, a post asking Twitter users to make a very important decision. But in all seriousness, VTubers making lewder content is nothing new. In fact, the vast majority of VTubers incorporate it in varying amounts. Because after all, the men and women behind these VTuber models are primarily adults, and it's kind of expected that adults will make adult jokes and posts from time to time, and the fact that they do it from behind a fictional character makes absolutely no difference. However, Sister Emmy does not agree with this string of logic. On her not-so-subtle alt account, she made this tweet asking if Kirana's tweet is pedo bait, a question she answers herself by stating in a reply that, yeah, it is. Even adding this comment from her main account stating, I thought the idea was cute, I like the Tiger Girl model, but then I saw that they were lewd posting and the underdeveloped breast model was a bit too effing much for me. Their comments all seem to point out how short they are / constantly pointing out size. And perhaps feeling a bit cocky following the feedback from her echo chamber, she continued on her main account posting this. There's a full community of people out there dressing up in lolly / short / underdeveloped breast and pre-pubatory trait VTuber models, and I find it really interesting that some of them will tweet things like, I'm not a lolly, in attempts to continue lewd posting as a child avatar. Now the funny part about this tweet is that she does have a point. There is an endless list of almost exclusively Western VTubers who sport lolly-type VTuber models who also make sexually charged humor the main staple of their content, just to turn around and call lolicon content pedophilia. However, ignoring the fact that some of the most successful and foundational VTubers in the medium have lolly models or are lolicons themselves, she's also stating that short or flat-chested models aren't allowed to lewd post, which is at the very least body shaming and arguably a symptom of schizophrenia, since, of course, we're talking about adults using fictional characters as avatars. But like I hinted at earlier, as the criticism rolled in from these tweets, she proceeded to start digging her own grave, tweeting, I didn't realize showing my point of view and sharing my opinions would be such a big deal. You could have just replied with an explanation of why you think my opinion is wrong. Crazy how calling other people pedo bait has consequences, because calling another VTuber pedo bait is not an opinion, it's an allegation. And then she further states in replies, also just to clarify, I have no issue with smaller VTubers, just when you sexualize them is when my red flags start to go up. And honestly, at this point, I'm just confused. What even is a smaller VTuber? Why are people like this so sex negative, by the way? Shorter, flat VTubers can't be sexual? Is that what she's saying? But here comes the fun part of the video, where we apply this woman's standard against herself. It's clear from her tweets, she treats fictional content the same as real life. So accordingly, I have to ask, Emmy, why did you make this sexual cosplay of an underage character? Why do you have sexualized high school students in your likes? Why do you have a GIF of 2 children kissing in your recent replies? I mean, these characters look awfully small and short. Now, of course, this is a ridiculous standard to hold someone to, but it's the same standard she wants to label other people as pedophiles or pedobae for, so it's only fair that this unreasonable standard is applied back to her own behavior. When confronted on the issue, she said, I'm confused how me liking images of characters fully clothed with adult features is similar to a diaper-wearing self-claimed lollies sucking on condoms. Where that last part came from, I have no idea, but the first part is a direct contradiction to this meme response she made to someone else literally minutes before that reply. And then she went on to make this excuse, these characters look grown up, not like lollies. An obvious contradiction to everything she's been saying, besides the fact, if she really thinks that fictional content can be illegal, in the US, the country she lives in, the law doesn't require nudity for an image to be considered CP, and looking at this image, it's obviously sexual in nature. And then she goes on and on and on, but here's a collage of responses showing just how unhinged and toxic she is, calling everyone who disagrees with her pedophiles, telling other content creators they'll never reach her level of success, even sending unsolicited DMs to random people trying to shame them for criticizing her, and on and on. But you get it, she had a meltdown. But now I think it's time to get to the much more serious turn of this video. Here is just one of the many threads documenting her behavior from the past. Normally, I'm not one to care too much about someone's behavior from 2 or 3 years ago, but there are some things that are so incredibly telling about who someone is, especially when they feature someone who at that point was in their 20s. Now, fair warning, we're going to see images involving racism as well as a video that involves a pretty heated confrontation, so if those things make you uncomfortable, you can end the video here. So as you'll see, there is a reason this person has rebranded so many times. They've gone under the names of Emiya, Emadorable, Emioke, Emiliani, and Emiya, an attempt to constantly shift away from her very checkered history. She has been called out and cancelled before, and her response is typically to lay low for a bit and come back with a new alias when everyone has forgotten what she's done. These are the type of things she is trying to bury, like posting the N-word multiple times, including the hard R, racist memes, posting swastikas, even posting blackface multiple times, which to clarify, one of them is a photo from 2013, but she reposted a screenshot of it on Discord in 2019, which means she was clearly still okay with it at that time. But don't worry guys, she has an excuse for all of this. She didn't know what any of these things meant when she posted them. That's right, because this isn't the first time she's been called out for this behavior. About 2 years ago, she finally made a response to those trying to hold her accountable.
It bothers me when people say that I'm something I'm not, and they don't listen to me defend myself. This is my career. This is what I do. If I were to go off and spit things like Semitism, if I were to like preach those things without knowing, that hinders that, doesn't it? That hinders my image. That makes me seem things that I'm not, and I don't want to be shown in that bad light just because I don't understand, because I didn't get it.
So there you have it, folks. She's not accountable. She just needed to be more educated about the subtle nuances of posting the N-word, blackface, and swastikas. But if that wasn't enough, in 2020, she had the nerve to accuse her ex-boyfriend of being racist, where he then posted a series of videos documenting a confrontation with her inside their home to give the world a sense of what she is really like. Now, I'm gonna have to compress these for YouTube, so if you want full access to the clips, you can find them linked in the description. So I'm gonna have to skip the first video, mainly because YouTube rules might be an issue, but to sum it up for context, the ex-boyfriend and Emmy share an apartment. He came home to find her dog urinating on the floor because she had left it alone all day while she was out protesting. The dog continues urinating on the floor throughout the video. The floor is much like the apartment, extremely filthy and run down, and I'm no veterinarian, but the dog doesn't look like it's in the best shape, as you'll see in the upcoming clips. She then gets very angry when confronted about leaving the dog all day alone, and from the other side of the room calls 911 on him, which leads us to the second and third clips, where she literally corners and eventually punches the man she says she's so afraid of.
Fuck.
Yes, can you tell them to take, like, can you, like...
You should tell them to take the dog, too, that you don't take care of. This is fucking unreal. It's unreal. I would cry too. You have more priorities of rioting. What the fuck is your problem? Get out of my face!
You want this?
Stop touching me! You're pushing.
Is this what you want?
No, you're the one touching me.
want?
Back up.
Is this what you
I'm
want?
just getting in the corner.
Is this what you want?
You're in my.
Do something, Michael. Do something.
Look at this, dude. I'm just trying to sit in the corner.
Do something.
Dude, this is.
Do something.
Holy shit. I
Do
hope
something.
they show up because this is
Do
unreal.
something.
You're a threat to
Do
everyone around you.
something.
I'm not doing it. I have nothing. I want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you. Get away from me, please. Back up. Please back up. Now you're blocking me in.
Do something.
Do something.
Do something.
I don't want anything to do with you. Let
How
me.
many times have you said you want to fucking hit me? And you can't because you've never
What
hit
have I
me.
ever said?
Do something, Michael.
Holy!
Do
I gotta
something.
get out of this place.
Yes, you need to leave.
You're so-
You need to leave.
Dude, get the back
You
up.
need to leave.
Back up.
Leave.
Back.
You said for 4 days straight you're gonna leave.
Yes, I'm
You
leaving
don't
tomorrow.
leave.
I need to get the fuck away
Yes,
from
you
you.
need
You're
to leave.
psychotic. The dog wants to leave too.
Because he needs to go potty.
Then take him out.
I will once I'm done with you. Can you get the fuck out?
I'm gonna go in my room.
No, you're fucking not. Get out.
I'm gonna go in my room that I paid to live in. Okay, I'm just gonna walk by you. Excuse me.
Get the fuck in your room and don't ever fucking leave.
Holy shit. You're gonna what?
I want to hit you so fucking bad.
Okay.
You're a piece of shit and
Okay.
you're a fucking little baby.
Okay. Alright, that's a good one for the cops.
Do something for the cops. Because the cops gonna do anything. The cops will literally do anything.
What are you doing? I'm just gonna go in here.
Oh, like what you did with me? And how you
back
stood in
up.
my doorway and you
Okay,
sat
so
there and
now
yelled at
I'm
me?
gonna just slowly push the door closed, and if your foot is in the way, I will push your foot out of the way.
Go ahead, break my fucking foot.
I'm gonna
Don't
gently-
touch me.
I'm gonna gently
Don't
push
touch
you
me.
in that general
Don't touch
direction.
me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Michael.
You just punched me. You're calling my mom? Go ahead, call her. She knows you're fucking psychotic. Holy, you just punched me in the fucking neck.
Now I get this is a moment in a life, and obviously nobody in that scenario is completely innocent, but from these short clips alone, I think you can get a pretty clear picture of the kind of person Emmy is. This unhinged, antagonistic behavior from 2020 is the exact same pattern of behavior we saw as recent as yesterday. Make of the evidence we saw today for what you will, but once again, it's the VTuber who is demonizing and attacking every aspect of the community she wants to be a part of, who forgets, unlike the fictional content she cries about, she has a very real mountain of skeletons in her own closet she should be worried about instead. But that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe for more daily videos, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.